So, out of these branches, the mechanics deal with the equilibrium or motion of material bodies at low speed, like the propulsion of rocket, equilibrium of rod bent under a load, propagation of water waves, sound waves, etc. Optics deals with the nature and the propagation of light, and you had already studied about various phenomena related to the mirror, the lenses, the colors in thin film, etc. Thermodynamics deal with the macroscopic system in equilibrium. It is more concerned with the changes in internal energy, temperature, etc. So, in your 11th class also, you will study about the thermodynamics, and you will study how to find out the efficiency of heat engines and the refrigerators. Next branch is electrodynamics. It deals with electrical and magnetic phenomena associated with a charge and magnetic bodies. And you have a very good idea of this electrodynamics in your 10th class, where you have studied about the electricity and the magnetism, and you had studied that the charge is the cause of electricity as well as the magnetic field. Next is quantum mechanics. It deals with the mechanical behavior of submicroscopic particles like the atom, the nuclei, photons, quarks, etc. Minute particles at the scale of nano or the picometer. Next one is the relativity. Now, this is the theory of invariance in nature, how the things are related to each other. So, basically, it deals with the motion of the particles having the speed comparable to the speed of light. Okay, so nowadays, the exciting field of research is having a new domain which is known as the mesoscopic physics, which is the intermediate science between the microscopic and the macroscopic domains, and it deals with few tens and hundreds of atoms. So the scope of physics is truly very vast, and the study of physics is not only educative but also exciting in so many different ways. Now, how this physics is related with the other sciences? Physics is having a strong relation to mathematics, to chemistry, biological sciences, and so many other sciences. How the physics is related to mathematics? Students, physics is a quantitative science, and mathematical tools provide the necessary science which the physicists use in order to solve so many problems. So, it had played an important role in the development of theoretical physics. Next one is how the physics is related to chemistry. In physics, we study about the structure of atom, radioactivity, X-ray diffraction, etc. These studies have enabled chemists to arrange elements in periodic table on the basis of their atomic number. Okay, this first further also helped them to find out the nature of valency and the chemical bonding to understand the complex and chemical structures. Physics is also related to the biological sciences. Basically, in optical microscope, we are able to study about the minute bacteria and other organism. So this optical microscope is provided by the technologies developed in physics. With the help of an electron microscope can study the structure of a cell. X-rays, neutron diffraction techniques, radioisotope. So these are so many techniques which are used in radiation therapy for the cure of deadly diseases like the cancer, etc. Physics is also related to astronomy. Basically, astronomical telescopes are used to study the motion of planets and other heavenly bodies in sky. And the radio telescope have helped to discover the quasars and pulsars, etc. So, Doppler effect also predicted the Big Bang theory of the universe, and that is again through physics. Students, physics is also related to geology. As the name suggests, geo means earth, logy means the study. So basically through physics we are able to study about the earth. So again, the diffraction technique helped to study the crystal structure of various rocks. Radioactivity is used to estimate the age of rocks and fossils. Physics is also related to seismology. Now, what is seismology? You must have experienced so many earthquakes as we are all living in Delhi NCR region. So, the movement of earth crust and type of waves so generated help a lot to study of earthquake and its effect, and this is possible through physics. Next one is physics is also helpful in meteorology. So basically by studying various variation of pressure and temperature we can forecast the weather, and again you know that the pressure temperature are the physical things, physical phenomenon which we study in physics. So in so many ways the physics is most fundamental discipline of all the sciences, and it has played a key role in development of all the other sciences. Now students, physics is closely related to our society. Through the various technologies and developments we are able to serve the society in better ways. So the fate of society is closely linked to physics. For example, the development of telephone, telegraph, telex enable us to quickly exchange messages between far off places. The discoveries of radio and television have made possible the instantaneous communication with the other part of world. The launching of satellite into space has revolutionized the concept of communication. The development of alternative sources of energy is the great importance to the mankind. Microelectronics, laser, computers, superconductivity, nuclear energy have entirely changed the thinking and living style of human beings. So the modern science in general and physics in particular has the potentiality to eradicate the poverty and hunger from the surface of earth. So on the other hand, a wrong use of discoveries of physics may also bring about the disasters like the one happened in the Hiroshima Nagasaki case. So the knowledge of physics can be applied alike to the creation of heaven on the earth or to the total annihilation, that is the destruction. So our willingness lies in applying physics to solve the problems, to serve the society, not to destroy the society. Okay, and we are having so many great physicists and their discoveries like we were having Archimedes. He was from Greece, and he discovered about the principle of buoyancy, principle of lever. We are using these phenomena nowadays also. Our great scientist Homi Jahangir Bhabha from India, he discovered about the cosmic ray showers. J.C. Bose discovered about the ultra short radio waves, and S.N. Bose discovered about the Bose-Einstein statistics, and the particles were named after his name, the bosons. The famous physicist Albert Einstein, who was from Germany, he studied about the theory of relativity, photoelectric effect. Thomas Alva Edison from America, electric bulb and telegraphy, and so many n number of scientists and their n number of discoveries we are having. Okay, so students, how the physics is related to technology? Basically, the applications of physics have played a key role in development of technology. Today, we are using so many applications given by physics in our daily life. Some of the major technologies are based on physics are the discovery of EM waves, that is the electromagnetic waves, which is used in radars, televisions, wireless communication. The Newton's concept, everybody knows about the concept of Newton in gravitation, which is used in geostationary satellites to help us to forecast weather and geophysical surveys. The X-rays in radiotherapies, thermodynamics in order to design the heat engine, study of electricity which led to the development of electrical appliances. Nuclear physics basically deals with the nuclear fission and fission reaction basically, and you had studied about the fission reaction in your 10th class. The concept of the modern physics, that is the modern electronics, it finds extensive use in the telephone exchange, robots, etc. So many uses are there. The discovery of silicon chips, basically it brought a revolution in the computer industry. The geothermal energy, the heat of depth of earth, is very common nowadays. We are using this heat in order to generate electricity. So basically all these technologies have made our lives comfortable and materially prosperous. Some physicists generate new technology. At the other hand, sometimes the technology give rise to new physics. So both have direct impact on the society, the physics as well as the technology. So basically in physics we study about various fundamental forces. So there are basically four fundamental forces exist in nature: the gravitational force, the electromagnetic force, the strong nuclear force, and weak nuclear forces. You had already studied about the gravitational force in your ninth class, that the force of gravitation between the two objects is proportional to the product of masses of the object, inversely proportional to the separation between the two objects. So F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square. So there are so many important properties of gravitational forces, like it is a universal attractive force. It obeys the inverse square law. The gravitation forces are long range forces, and these are the weakest forces exist in nature. They are central and conservative forces, and there are so many examples of gravitational forces around us, like all the objects fall because of the gravitation force of attraction exerted by Earth on those objects. The next one is the gravitation force governs the motion of moon, all the other artificial satellites around the sun, around the earth, and the motion of all the planets around the sun. Also, the gravitation plays an important role in formation and evolution of stars, galaxies, and galactic clusters. Like the Big Bang theory is a very good example in front of us. Our next is electromagnetic force. Now, what is electromagnetic force? The force acting between two electric charges at rest is called electrostatic force. And you will study about this electrostatic force in your 12th class. And the force is given by the Coulomb's law, that is F is equals to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. That is, the force is proportional to the product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. And there are few important properties of electromagnetic forces, like they are always attractive or repulsive. As you know that you had studied in your 10th class, like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. Like the gravitation force, they obey inverse square law. They are the long range forces, central as well as conservative forces. They are stronger than the gravitation force. And the examples of the electromagnetic forces are when we compress a spring or elongate that, it exerts the force of elasticity. The van der Waals forces you must have studied in your chemistry. So these forces between two neutral molecules of gas. So all these are electromagnetic forces. Okay. So the contact force between two bodies, force of friction, force in rope, etc. All these are examples of electromagnetic forces. Our next topic is the strong nuclear force. So we are having two types of nuclear force. One is the strong one, another one is the weak one. Now, what is the strong nuclear force? The strong attractive force which bind together the protons and neutrons in a nucleus is called the strong nuclear force. This force cannot be electrostatic force because we are having the positive charged proton inside the nucleus, and because of that electrostatic force, repulsion should be there. But there is a force which is binding these nucleons inside the nucleus, that is the protons as well as the neutrons. So this strong nuclear force is the strongest force of all the fundamental forces, about 100 times stronger than the electromagnetic force. So the properties of strong nuclear forces are, these are short range forces, like of the order of Fermi level, that is 10 raised to power minus 15 meter level. That's why they are holding the nucleons, that is the proton and neutron inside the nucleus. They are basically attractive forces. They are non-central and non-conservative forces. They are charge independent characters, as the proton, neutron, neutron are almost equally strong. It is caused by exchange of particles called pi mesons. And the examples of nuclear forces are the radioactivity occur in heavier nuclei. The concept of nuclear force is useful in obtaining nuclear energy via the process of nuclear fission and fusion. Next one is the weak nuclear force. It is the force that appear only between the elementary particles involved in a nuclear process, like the beta decay of the nucleus. In case of beta decay, the nucleus emits an electron and an uncharged particle called neutrino. The electron and neutrino interact with each other through the weak nuclear force. The weak nuclear force is much stronger than the gravitational force but weaker than the strong nuclear force and the electromagnetic force. Some important properties of weak nuclear forces are: any process involving a neutrino and antineutrino is governed by weak nuclear force because these particles can experience only weak interaction and not the strong nuclear interaction. The weak nuclear force is 10 raised to power 25 times stronger than the gravitation force. And these forces only operate through a range of nuclear size, that is the Fermi level. And the messenger particle that transmit the weak forces between the elementary particles are the massive vector bosons, as the discovered by the great scientist J.C. Bose. Okay, so we are having the basic mechanism of the fundamental forces in our day-to-day life, and each fundamental force between two elementary particles arises from the exchange of its characteristic particles called the quanta of that force or the messenger particles. And we know that what is quanta? Quanta is basically the packets of energy, that is the packets of charge particles. Now our next topic is the conservation laws, as the physics is related to the conservation of various laws like the law of conservation of energy, the law of conservation of linear momentum, the law of conservation of angular momentum, the law of conservation of charge. Out of these laws, you had already studied about the law of conservation of energy and the conservation of momentum in your 9th class in chapter Force and Work and Energy. So what are these laws? As you know that the law of conservation of energy is also known as the universal law of energy. Universal law, universally accepted. According to the law of conservation of energy, this law states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another. Or we can say that total energy of an isolated system remains constant. And there are so many examples in our surrounding where this law of conservation of energy is applicable. When a body freely falls under the effect of gravity, its potential energy gradually changes into kinetic, but the total mechanical energy remains constant at any point of the motion. And you had already derived a derivation for this in your 9th class. During the oscillation of a simple pendulum, the energy of the bob changes gradually from kinetic to potential, then from potential to kinetic. So there are so many examples in our nature, in our surrounding, which explains about the law of conservation of energy. Next is the law of conservation of momentum. So whenever the objects are in motion, we study about the two types of motion. One is linear, another one is angular. So in case of linear momentum, the total momentum remains conserved, and this is the law of conservation of linear momentum. This law states if no external force acts on a system, then its linear momentum remains constant. Like a rifle gives backward kick on firing a bullet. Before firing the bullet and the rifle are at rest, and initial momentum of the system is zero. But as soon as the bullet is fired, it moves forward with a large velocity. On the other hand, to conserve the momentum, the rifle moves backward with such a velocity that the final momentum of the system remains conserved, that is zero. In conservation of momentum, next is the law of conservation of angular momentum. The law of conservation of angular momentum is about the motion of rotating bodies, the bodies which are rotating about an axis. So you will study about this conservation law in your chapter System of Particles and Rotational Motion. This is related to, somehow we can say that when the planets revolve in elliptical orbit, when the planet approaches the sun, its moment of inertia about the sun decreases. In order to conserve the angular momentum, its speed increases. As we know that the periphery of Earth around the sun is elliptical, so it's egg shape. During its motion around the sun, sometime Earth gets closer to sun, sometime it is far away from sun. So when the Earth is far away from sun, in that case the speed is low. When the when the Earth is close to sun, in that case the speed is high. So this is just to conserve the angular momentum of the Earth. And you must have seen tornadoes. In a tornado, the air rushes towards the center. In order to conserve the angular momentum, again the speed of air increases. So tornado takes the object in it and through the bottom and pushes back the objects in the surrounding from the top. So this is again the example of the conservation of angular momentum. And our next topic is the law of conservation of charge, and you will study about this law of conservation of charge in your class 12th, and you must have an idea of the conservation of charge in your 10th class, that the total charge of a system remains conserved. According to this law, the total charge of an isolated system remains constant, and this implies that electric charge can neither be created nor destroyed. It just transforms from one body to the other body. And we are having examples like when a glass rod is rubbed with silk, both develop charges, and the glass rod acquires the positive charge and the silk acquires the negative charge, and this happens because of the different electronegativity of these two objects, that is the glass and the silk. On the other hand, you had already studied about the nuclear fission reactions. In a nuclear fission reaction, the total charge before the fission reaction remains conserved and same the total charge after the fission reactions. So students, this is all about the physics, various fundamental laws, how the physics are related to society, how the physics is related to the technologies, other subjects, and what we are going to study about the various natural phenomena in physics. So hope you will enjoy this subject physics, and after this first chapter, after having the basic idea about the physics, we'll study about the so many topics like the mechanics, like the force, the work energy, then the gravitation, system of particles, thermodynamics, fluid dynamics, mechanics of solid, waves, and oscillations in your 11th class physics. After this first chapter, we'll pick the chapter Mechanics of